Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, it's DMG and welcome back to Blitz, and today we are going to be going over a back to basics video on the map Fort Despair. As some of you may know, I have been testing live streams recently, and I want to put this in audio words for you. For those of you who do not read the comment section, is that if you like live streams, I will do them regularly if I get to 1,000 subscribers. So at the time of saying this right now, I am at 946 subscribers, so if I get 1,000, I will start doing live streams if you enjoy that content. But anyways, on to Fort Despair. Now, Fort Despair is one of these maps where I believe only one side of the map exists, and as you can see, by force of habit, I am just driving out to the side that is viable. Now, before I go into the why and why not, there are two sides to this map. There is the town side and the not town side. Does that remind you of any other map in the game? And knowing the probability of how good town is and how good and how not good it is, which side would you like to play? Town or not town? I don't know about you, but not town sounds a lot better in terms of the chance of success at a first glance. And the people who say not town are usually right. Now, the side with B and A, I always find to be more competitive for public games. Now, keep that in mind. This is for public games or ratings battles, right? Because you don't have any form of communication other than the chat. But for public and ratings battles, the A-B side is so much better. And why is that? Now, if you split the map in half, right, you'd like to think that that the middle of the map runs right through the B cap. And yes, it technically does, but this enormous fort here, which starts the town and its subsequent idiocy that it attracts, is here blocking one side of B. Now, if you cap the A base, you will be able to get the B base quite easily, and no one can shoot you from the C base. But if you get the C base and try and cap the B base, you're going to be coming through these lanes right here on this side and on the other side, which means you are liable to get shot from all the people sitting back here around these ridge lines, or even up here where I usually like to go, but more on that later. But as you can see, the A-B side is always the better side to go when you're trying to play supremacy on Fort Despair. Now, the C side. I can count on one hand the times that I have gone the C side on both encounter and supremacy in the public and rating meta. Now, I like to think of it this way, guys. Other than that obvious point of, why you'd want to get the B base in terms of the positioning, there is no reason you should be going C ever on this map. I'm sorry, but to me, if you go C on this map, you qualify as stupid. That's all there is to it. Because if you're a good player, right, do you really want to engage in a slugfest with a noob? I mean, if you're a good player, you know more about game mechanics in terms of like view range, hull down, gun depression, all these other things that idiots don't understand. So why would you want to go down and play on their field? Because if you're not exploiting all these other advantages, right, you're just matching them one for one, and you're not doing anything that's giving you the upper hand in battle, right? I mean, granted, you can side scrape. I mean, there's different places to side scrape, like here, off the rock that I'm going to, off the broken wall that I'm looking at right there. You can side scrape off of that. You can even go to this side and kind of peek through this bush, right? Lots of different side scraping opportunities, granted, yes. But why would you ever want to level the playing field with an idiot? I don't know about you, but I'd rather just exploit the idiot easily rather than try and engage in a slugfest in a face to face, right? I'd prefer to use view range and things and knowledge of the game to prevent me from losing hit points rather than saying, oh, well, I'm going to kill him, but I'm going to lose half my hit points. Or if we keep going one for one, I could possibly die, from some unlucky RNG, because I'm sure from all of you that have watched my stream, watching me play the Borsig and a few other things, right? You've seen some very, very poor RNG, and when and you don't want to give people who shouldn't be getting the upper hand the opportunity to get the upper hand, and that's why this town area. I just call this town. I mean, granted, like there's some buildings, right? That just classifies it as town to me, right? You don't want to be playing in the town. The town is not good. Like I said, granted, it's different in the competitive meta, but at that point, the skill level of your opponents, and there's so much more information available to you in terms of communication and the ability of the opposition. But for the public meta, do not give noobs the opportunity to fight on the same level as you, right? Or like don't play down to their level, because once you go here, you're stuck here. You have to fight at C. There's no I can easily relocate to B without getting shot, because if you start relocating to B, even if you've won C, enemy team has capped A already, and then you're stuck trying to take B when they're hull down, right? And pushing into hull down tanks, we all know how difficult that is. So don't even bother going to the C side. I mean, granted, if you're in a light tank, right, and the C base is open, if there's a tactical reason to cap the C base in the middle of a battle, right? Let's say you've spotted around B and A, and the fight is going, and let's say you get reduced to a one shot, and you can't. Fighting at A and B is no longer a tenable option. By all means, run away and go cap the C base. But to go here originally and just try and get it, that is completely the wrong move. So I hope that clears that up, why you should never go C on this map, ever. I mean, honestly, Wargaming should be, in order for the public meta to work out correctly so both sides of the map are playable, they need to rework this whole C side, because as it stands now, there is no point in trying to get C considering the placement of the B base and the locations around the A and B base, which allow you to hold them effectively. Now that we've gotten that all of the way, the A and B side is the great side. So I'm going to show you how to effectively maneuver the A and B side once this timer goes out, as I just looked, and the matches only has about 5 seconds left. So we are going to let that end. But I really do hope that clears up why you should not be going to the C side on Fort Despair. It is just not viable, in my opinion. Don't even worry about it. That side of the map doesn't even exist. Now, on this, some of this stuff translates between Encounter and Supremacy, and what I like to do in Fort Despair, really no matter what tank I'm in, unless it is a turretless tank destroyer, is I like to go to the middle. Now, before we get too crazy into all the middle spots, this spot right here, this is typical tank destroyer, right? This is where you want to be if you are in like an SU-152, ISU-152, 183, stuff like that, right? This is where you want to be, because it allows you to hit all the people that get really greedy around A and around the corner area, right? And it allows you to hit B. It allows you to hit people who poke on this corner right there where I'm aiming. And if need be, you can rush towards B and reset the cap if necessary. You also get some nice hard cover around here and can relocate around the back this way to provide a different lane of fire support. Now, TD spots just don't stop there. You can sit all the way back here in this bush as well. This allows to get you shots a bit further away, also into the corner. If you're sitting behind this bush, you will stay unspotted. I've done this in a Jagdpanzer E100, and people are wondering where my tank is as they're getting blasted for 800 rounds of alpha. You can also sit it further back there, but it's not advised. I think this provides the most bang for your buck with being able to relocate well, providing some decent hard cover to your left so you don't get easily flanked. Just some really good stuff here, but I always prefer to go here in the public meta, in this bush location where I'm aiming right now. Now, the A base. Do not try and cap the A base the first thing out of the gate, right? Because look at how exposed this is. Right, you're going to get spotted and you're going to get lit up. If you don't think heavy tanks or tank destroyers are going to be able to spot you from this range, you are wrong. Once they see you capping the A base, they will go far enough to where you are in their range. And like I said, there is nowhere you can run to where you will get to cover fast enough without dying or losing massive amounts of hit points. So don't even go there. It's not worth it. You know, if they have been dumb and gone to the seaside, then cap the A base. Because once you've capped the A, but once somebody has successfully capped the A base, it is really hard to cap this base back because it's so open, right? At least if you get the C base in a sense, right? That one's easy to cap. If you don't get the C base, at least it's easy to get capped because there's more cover to use. If they spot you out here and you're stationary in this base, you're going to get shot up and just torn apart. So don't sit here in the A base the first thing out. If they go C, then you cap A, right? If you don't spot anyone on your way to this corner, which I will discuss next, then cap A. Anyways, this corner area. This corner area is one of the most important areas of the map, whether it is on encounter or supremacy. Now, why is this important? Because once you get the corner, you can successfully turn your turret just facing like 270 degrees, right? Because you don't have to worry about what's behind you, right? So if you win this corner, you can just spray DPM from one side to the other, or most likely, because they won't have flanked, you'll just be able to look at one side and just poke through these small little openings and fire away at enemies. Now, the safe play is, if you look at this small ridge right here, you can barely see it. But if I go back behind here, this ridge is going all the way down like this. And this is a good haul down location for your T-62As and your Object 140s. Now, if you have a really tall tank, don't take it here. It's not advisable because you will get shot at people who are sitting up in this middle area, which I will eventually go over. But this is an important location because if you let people take this area, they will fire at your people in the middle. So you cannot let people take this area just uncontested. It doesn't work like that. Winning this corner is key for winning the game. This is the symbiotic relationship between the B and the A that needs to occur for the team in order for this side to work. And I find myself playing at B more often, but if all the people start going B, I go to the corner and fight at the corner, because if we win the corner, it makes the lives at the people at B much easier because they don't have to deal with so many different angles. Now, let's say this is safe, right? If it's not safe, then you just play cupola snipes, or you wait for them to try and rush across or rush you and you just kill them with DPM. But this right here is the safe play, and this exists on the other side as well. But if it's safe, I go to this rock, or if I want to be a little bit aggressive, I go to this rock right here, and this is great. I mean, if you're in a medium like the Panther 2, E50M, E50, good side scraping mediums, even the Patton can do this to a certain degree, but like I said, this is great for an E50M or a Panther 2 if you're in Tier 8. Allows you to side scrape out here and put shots across at the people who are sitting there trying on your corner. Now, this exists the same on the other side. If I try and side scrape out this way, I can put shots in at people over there. But keep in mind, if they're really low profile, it's going to be slightly harder to hit. So, but you will be able to hit people sitting at this house here. Their drive wheels will be completely exposed. If you get to this position, you can really halt the advance onto this corner. But at the same time, keep in mind that if you are being rushed, this is not the place to be, right? I'd rather be back here behind this corner than up here if I'm going to get rushed, right? So keep that in mind. And like I said, this spot over here exists on the other side. As you can see, there's this ridge that is going all the way down. So what you want to do is line your tank up like this and poke across like this, and only your turret will be showing to all the other people, unless of course they board up on the top part on this raised area here. But at the same time, they can see your hull, you can see their drive wheels. I wonder which is more dangerous for you to be shot at. Anyways, but this is why this corner is important, because if you're at the B area, you don't want to be dealing with getting shot at the A area, or from the area. I can't even speak right. You don't want to be getting shot at from the A area. So this is why this corner is just so flipping important. And this is why I always say corner, 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 and I always point on the map to Sector 1, attention to Sector 1. It is so flipping important to be able to understand this corner really makes the B area work, because if they have tanks at the A corner, I mean, it's really hard to work B effectively. I mean, eventually your flank will just fall. But moving on, I will show you the B area. Now, this is where I really like to play the game. The B area is, I would say, the most important area of the map, and you've seen this before in like some of my M103 masteries. I know I had a game on Fort Despair in the M103, so that's why I reference it. But if I'm in a light tank or a medium tank, I go up on this side of the fort, of this wall right here, and I spot through these bushes. This allows me to see people who are coming through here and allows me to get a quick early shot off if necessary. I do not stay up here too long if you see people coming across this way, as you will get shot by them and the people sitting in the bush. This bush offers minimal amounts of camouflage, but see, once they get to around this point, there's no more bush covering you, which means you are liable to get nuked. So please use your discretion when you are going up to this location. Now, if I am in a heavy tank or an armored medium, it's most likely a heavy tank, but this is why I prefer front-mounted heavies, right? Is because if they get A and we get B, I sit here, and this exists on both sides. So if I'm coming from the north spawn, I sit on this side. If I'm coming from the south spawn, I am sitting on this side. And what this allows me to do is sit hull down and look through these lanes, right? Because what ends up happening is if you cap A and B, or if you just take this side in general, they have to push through this lane, this lane, this lane, or this lane to cap B effectively. I mean, yes, they can push through these outer lanes, but most likely that does not happen as often as it should. And even if that happens, you are still prepared for them. You are in a hull down location this whole time. You can just rotate back and forth, or not rotate, but juke back and forth like I'm doing right now, and it makes it a really hard target to hit, and you are just spraying them as they poke their corner, as they poke corners, and you just hit their drive wheels or whatever. You can, I don't care where you shoot them, right? They have to poke their whole hull to shoot at your turret, but you only poke your turret to shoot at their hull. Or to shoot at their whole tank, right? So, I mean, it really works out as a favorable trade in your favor. Now, another reason why this middle area is so important on every Fort Despair map is that the encounter cap is here. I can cap the base. If this is encounter, I can cap the base sitting right here. This is how OP that this spot is, because I can sit in the base, right, and if they go to the seaside, I am putting cap pressure on, which means they have to push me in this cap. If they don't push me in this cap, I win the game, and a lot of people do not like to lose. So if they push you, they're going to be coming through lane 1, lane 2, or lane 3, or even lane 4, and all this means is, and granted, the LTTB isn't that tall of a tank, so this works for taller tanks like the Lurver or the M103. IS-7, it works decently, but, you know, taller tanks work great. Like, even an E100 is pretty dangerous in this scenario. Tiger 2, like, it's tall, so this is enough to hide its hull and poke its turret and just absolutely pick apart its enemies. But you will see people through these lanes trying to get you in this cap, and you are so difficult to hit. Just be aware that when you move your turret like this, you are liable to be hit. So, like, if they start coming on both lanes, like if people start coming like this and you want to hit them through this bush, in this case the left side of my turret is exposed. So be aware of people poking here and here and shooting your turret. This way you can put your hull like this and keep yourself angled to the people flanking you from behind, and keep your turret pointed like this. And be safe. So, like I said, this is all about working this one little strip of wall right here, and like I said, it exists on the other side. So once you learn how to do this maneuver and learn how to exploit this small area, this will give you great amounts of success. Now, granted, hull down tanks are better here. Tanks with gun depression are better. Do not try and tank tank. Do not try and take Chinese vehicles up here because of their poor gun depression, bar the Type 59. If you try and take a 121 in its current state, it will not work. It does not have enough gun depression, and it is not tall enough to poke over this wall right here and effectively use its gun. Because, yes, while they can't shoot you, if you can't shoot them, that means that you are liable to be pushed. So don't get yourself in a situation where you're sitting here in an Object 140. This is not your place to be. Anyways, that is all really for Fort Despair. I know you can also sit in this location right here. This can be used for T-62As and Object 140s. However, you are more liable to be pushed as you are closer to these lanes right here. So you are just a little bit more isolated, and it really does make a world of difference. You know, I know this doesn't look like a large distance, and it's not, but this small difference from this wall to this wall, or this wall that I'm looking at right here, means a lot in terms of the probability of the other team pushing you from these lanes. Now, granted, if you're in a great haul down position, you have lots of DPM like a 62A, you know, this is a very viable position. But like I said, you are more liable to be pushed from this location as compared to the spot that I just showed before. Now, if you're in a heavy tank and you cap B, something else that you can do is once you cap B, you can side scrape off this location here, or kitty corner on the other side, which is right across the B cap, and you will get the same views. Now, this allows you to prevent people from pushing into B. It's a little bit more forward. This kind of cuts them off, but like I said, eventually, if the cap is ticking up and someone is behind you, you will get pushed. So this is great for your E100s, Mouses, IS-4 if you're into that crap, but that's for a different video, right? Anyways, this is good for big, strong, heavy tanks. Don't try and poke here in mediums. It's very dangerous. But heavy tanks, if you're defending and trying to hold out, this is where you want to be. If this other spot is already taken and you feel like you need to protect the cap, right? If you feel like you need to cap out, right, and the guy is starting to take a lot of heat, or you think the guy's going to take a lot of heat, you're going to want to go to that location that I showed, as it takes the heat, it takes the pressure off, and the other team has to focus on you rather than trying to shoot the guy in the cap. Or if they try and shoot the guy in the cap, you're going to flog them for all they're worth. So anyways, that's what I have for Fort Despair for you all. Play the not town side. I don't even know how to describe that. There's the fort side and then like the pasture side. I don't even know. The fort side and the corner side, the good side and the bad side. I don't even really know, but I hope that video really clears it up for you on what to do on Fort Despair. If you enjoyed that content, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. And if you didn't, please leave your constructive criticism in the comment section. As always, I appreciate the opportunity to share my passion with you today, and I hope to see you next time.